169 horsepower E55 AMG. Feel the power of a Mercedes.
You guys offer chili? No. We actually have our own chili in a crock pot. Yeah. Is there anywhere we could just plug in our cord? That way we could heat up chili and pour it on the fries and because I could even run the cord, you know, I'd run it pretty discreetly.
Welcome back to Dallas. Two of the greats linked for all of their years of service for the Cowboys. Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, and Brad Sham today honored for 25 tremendous years behind the radio microphone. He is the voice of the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody better than Brad Sham. And let's go down to the sideline and check in again with Pam Oliver.
Okay, Joe, Redskins coach Steve Spurrier went into the locker room with his fingers crossed that his quarterback, Patrick Ramsey, would be able to come out and play. And Spurrier really didn't seem to know if Ramsey would be okay until his surprise. He came out and saw Ramsey throwing just fine. But the problem isn't with that right hand, it's with the left forearm. It is heavily taped up at this point. He has trouble protecting the ball, putting his hand on the ball. If Tim Hasselbeck has to go in the game, I said, how much does he know about the offense? He says, only a little bit, but our problems are still protection. We've got to be able to run the ball. Back to you.
Well, Pam, he came into this game, I would imagine, with his fingers crossed that they could protect Patrick Ramsey. We asked Ramsey if he had to change his cell phone number to stop getting all those calls from Hasselbeck, who's only been with the team for literally a week and a half. And he may have a baptism by fire here in Dallas here in a minute.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy Johnson said it best there at the pregame deal, that why would you allow your team to be put in that position?
This is Patrick Johnson on the return as Washington starts with the ball. And Johnson gets it up to the 24-yard line. You think about how this game has happened and unfolded in the first half as Ramsey will head back onto the field, and he's in the huddle for the Washington Redskins. Joe Buck, Clay Aiken, Troy Aikman, and Chris Collinsworth. Clay Aiken. 4 turnovers for the Dallas Cowboys. The only reason why this game is even close right now.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, it's not for the turnovers and the penalties, and this game would not be close. Now you wonder, is Patrick Ramsey playing out of necessity, or is he playing because he really is capable of playing and not injured?
With that bandage on his left forearm, Cartwright gets the handoff. You talk about a running game, trying to keep extra protection in to protect Patrick Ramsey, and we haven't seen much of either for the Redskins so far.
I think they need to put, like, caution tape around him, you know, and maybe some sort of a signal on top of Roy Williams' head, because somebody, after a little while, you might think about blocking him, you know, about to kill him. I mean, I've just really never seen, when you know one guy is the guy that presents the danger, that they can't figure out a way to get him blocked.
That's Cartwright. He has a first down for the Washington Redskins as they keep it on the ground here the first couple of plays. Why? Because Patrick Ramsey has been hit hard, dropped so far all day. The last one that he took, the one from Roy Williams, that one, they caught him on the back of the left hand, the wrist, and the left forearm. Hence the bandage on that left arm that Pam Oliver told us about. You look at how many times he's been sacked, hurried, knocked down. By far, #1 in the league, ahead of Jeff Garcia. And this is yet another false start on the Redskins.
False start on the offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, Joe, and I don't want to continually harp on this, but I, for the life of me, cannot understand going into a National Football League game with one healthy quarterback and one guy that knows the offense. It just makes no sense to me why you would come to this game. Patrick Ramsey's going to be the guy playing. He's getting beat up. He's banged up coming into the game, and then nobody on the rest of the team knows the offense and can come in and help.
First down at 15, and they toss it to Cartwright, and that's Ellis. Slams him down in the backfield, a loss of 2.
Well, Troy, to get back to your point for a minute, they let Rob Johnson go, and they were going to re-sign Danny Werfel. And I think the assumption was, well, Danny Werfel is just out there and he'll be begging to come back and play. And Danny Werfel said, I don't think so. You guys go ahead, play your little game out there. You're going to do it without me. And I have a little respect for Danny Werfel, to tell you the truth. They kind of pushed him out the door, said we don't need you. And now when they need him, he said no thanks.
Second down and 17. Only a 4-man rush for the Cowboys. Ramsey still ends up on the ground. Ellis with pressure, and that's going to bring up third down and 17 for Washington.
And my point being on it, Chris, is that you don't let go of Rob Johnson unless you know Danny Werfel is going to come back and be a part of your team. Again, as we watch, Patrick Ramsey taking the hits, and they've just not done a good job. They have kept people in at times and tried to give him protection, but these guys have just not picked up the blitzes, and they've not kept them off of him.
0 for 6 on third down, and this one's third and 17. Again, a 4-man rush, and they dump it off to Cartwright. The Cowboys were ready for that. That's Newman on the tackle. A pickup of only 1 in time for a Redskins punt.
I'm wondering if we're seeing Steve Spurrier's system that he was wanting to unveil tonight from what he ran in college at Florida. Of course, that was the talk the last 2 weeks coming in. We've seen a lot of the running game. We've seen a lot of passes. We've seen a lot of Patrick Ramsey on his back. We haven't seen anything that even closely resembles what he did at Florida.
And I've got to tell you, as an alum of the University of Florida, I've never seen that look on his face. That is a look of complete bewilderment.
Barker with a beautiful punt. He's been really the highlight for the Redskins today. Galloway from inside the 20 has this sideline, makes a move, and continues out to midfield and beyond. So even special teams a problem for the Redskins. Barker forced him out of bounds. A 35-yard punt return by the veteran Joey Galloway. That look, it's the look, it's the look. A 7-6 Dallas lead. There's that look, exasperation, astonishment, bewilderment. 7-6 Cowboys.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles define convention.
Welcome back to Dallas. Great field position for the Cowboys as they start with it up by 1 point. Opening minutes of the second half. And it's Hambrick who is indeed back in the lineup. He's fumbled twice today. And he picked up 8. What kind of a day has it been? It's been a mistake-filled day. It's been a day filled with Hambrick, first down. Washington player lost their helmet. Ronaldo Wynn on that play. And it's a first down carry for Hambrick.
And Larry Allen back in the game now for the Dallas Cowboys. So Flozell Adams, Larry Allen both in. That left side is going to be the focal point. Those are the 2 big studs that you always want to run behind.
And the other guy back in the game is Troy Hambrick.
Does that surprise you a little bit?
Well, it really does, because Bill Parcells is one of those coaches that will not tolerate fumbling. He'll pull him out of the game, but he's giving him another opportunity now.
But then the other question is, what are the options? Trying to win a game in the division. That's picked off. LeVar Arrington, 5th turnover of the day for the Cowboys. A lateral to Smoot, and it's Fred Smoot with Quincy Carter on the tackle. And the Washington sideline looking for a flag. It doesn't appear they'll get it. But great field position for the Redskins on yet another Dallas turnover.
You know, they want to keep going back to Quincy Carter, but they're running.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was not a catch. And we'll see if that is reviewed, and already Parcells has thrown the flag. This ball hit the turf. So instead of having the ball at midfield, it appears, as we looked at it, that the ball hit the ground. We'll check the replays while we take a break and come back and have the call. This is the second and final challenge for Bill Parcells and the Dallas Cowboys, but you have to believe this one will definitely be worth it as that ball is out. They run the replay on the board here, and it is clear to everyone that Dallas will get the ball back.
And the Dallas offense, once they saw it on the big Jumbotron as well, they started running out here on the field.
Play, the pass was incomplete. The ball hit the ground. It'll be 2nd and 10. It'll be 2nd and 10. Please set the play clock to 10:36. 10:36. Dallas will not be charged with a timeout.
Well, take that, Brian Billick. That's why you have instant replay in the game. Brian Billick went crazy on a couple of calls this past weekend, but that is what it's supposed to be all about. The ones that everybody in the stadium, including the officials, know they got wrong once they look up to the big screen. That's why you have instant replay.
You know, and the calls were made right in that game last week with Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Brian Billick was wrong in suggesting that they should have been ruled touchdowns.
$15,000 worth of wrong.
Yeah.
Second down and 10 for the Dallas Cowboys. After that incompletion and what was initially ruled an interception by Arrington, then he lateraled to Smoot instead of having the ball at midfield. The Redskins are back on defense, trailing by 1. Penalty flag on the play. Glenn forced out of bounds by Smoot.
And they're still being really aggressive with their play calling, but I'm really surprised Bill Parcells isn't taking it and just pounding the ball at the Redskins. They haven't come close to stopping their running game yet, and they keep making all these mistakes in the passing game.
It's a motion call against the Dallas Cowboys. Possibly an illegal shift. They're trying to figure out if they want it or if they'll decline it.
Number 42. Penalty is declined. Third down.
You know, one guy we've been picking on the Washington Redskins. One guy is Fred Smoot, who's out there. Suffered a fractured sternum, a bruised chest on October 12th. Missed the Redskins last game, then the bye week. But he challenged the coaching staff and the training staff and said, I am ready to play. I will play. And Arrington said, I never realized how valuable Fred Smoot was until we didn't have him. And he is out there today, to his credit, for the Redskins.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Joe, because he went down in the Tampa game late in the third quarter, and when he came out, they scored a lot of points against the Redskins, and they do miss his leadership and his abilities.
Third down and 8. The pass is caught by Bryant. First down. Part of that three-headed monster for the Dallas Cowboys, the 3 wide receivers, Bryant, Galloway, and Glenn.
Yeah, and Antonio Bryant, I mean, this guy has got a lot of ability. Of course, he's working against Fred Smoot there, but they really like what this guy's capable of doing, and Bill Parcells has had to kind of keep his thumb on him ever since he took over as head coach, because he's kind of like a wild horse, and he's just trying to break him and get him to concentrate and focus and be the player that he's capable of being.
Negative 10 yards through the air for the Washington offense. Hambrick. First making sure he hangs on to the ball, gets it to the 15, a gain of 4. Every play, Larry Allen has a tough time just getting up off the deck and back to the huddle.
You know, it's a lot like what happened last week against Tampa Bay. Larry Allen was struggling, and Bill Parcells sat him down, and he didn't come back in that game and played. I'm a little surprised that he is back. I mean, 80% of Larry Allen is better than 100% of most, but he is really struggling out there right now.
Second down and 6. Hambrick. It's down inside the 15, barely. Gain of maybe 1. And they'll bring up third down for the Cowboys.
You know, and the other thing amongst that offensive line is Gennaro DiNapoli was a guy who backed up at center, and they would rotate these guys with, you know, Matt Lair, and then Gennaro DiNapoli would alternate quarters. And so Matt Lair is also playing entire game for the first time this season.
But I've had head coaches before that have the power of putting their hands on you, and all of a sudden you're back out on the field. I mean, there are just certain guys, they don't want to hear about injuries.
Well, today it was Jerry Jones's hands.
Yeah.
Thinking of Forrest Gregg, are you?
Oh, yeah. Big hands.
Third down and 5. Out of the shotgun, Carter looked like he was going to run all the way. And he dives down for a Dallas first down. Brought down by Trotter after a gain of 6.
That's really a great job by Quincy Carter. He's really not a runner. I think a lot of people think of him as a running quarterback, but he really is a pocket guy. But when things open up, as you see here, and he knows what he has to get in order to get the first down, he does a good job of going after it and then getting it. That was a key first down pickup there.
What did he say Parcells was telling? There goes Larry Allen again. Parcells was telling us, though, that Quincy reminded him of Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah.
So he basically makes his game plans like he would for Jeff Hostetler.
First down and goal for the Cowboys. They hand to Hambrick. He's down to the goal line and evidently short of breaking the play. No signal yet. The officials get together, and it will be 2nd and goal.
That gives you an idea of Troy Hambrick's strength. Once he gets through the line of scrimmage, his ability, he takes on the safety, Ifeanyi Olete, trying to come up and make the stop, which he does. He keeps him from getting in the end zone. But what a collision this is.
Quincy Carter acting like Brett Favre after handing the ball off. They said that Hambrick was brought down just shy of the goal line. This is Hambrick, and that is a touchdown. His 2nd of the day.
Well, at least now the scoreboard is starting to reflect what we've seen all day. The Cowboys have outgained the Redskins 240 yards to 70 to this point, and now finally they have a lead to show for it.
To make it an 8-point game. So the Redskins will get it back after the Cowboys get into the end zone and lead it by 8.
Will be here. I am dead.
We don't want any.
The all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. It's the most terrifying chase with death you've ever seen. All-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, part of a full hour. Tonight at 8/7 Central on Fox. Laugh Out Loud Sunday.
Two of the more involved and hands-on owners in all of professional sports. Jerry Jones' Cowboys lead Daniel Snyder's Redskins by 8. Cohen kicks it away. On a hop, it's Johnson. Out to the 25 and beyond. LeVar Arrington had a shot on the Hambrick touchdown run. He, in fact, got up limping off the field after that play. Hambrick into the end zone, and now the Redskins have it down 8. Hambrick with both touchdowns today for the Dallas Cowboys, and this crowd climbs into it with Dallas up by 8. The banged up Patrick Ramsey under center. The ball at the 27. Quick setup and throw. That's Laveranues Coles. Trying to do all he can. Good effort by Coles as he is to the sideline and forced out with a first down by Mario Edwards.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great block by Brian Johnson, the fullback, coming out there. He got there just in the nick of time. Just as Coles makes this catch, watch number 47 come and knock Dexter Coakley right off the play and allow Coles to make some moves and do his thing.
Well, Steve Spurrier said that he had been NFLized going into this game, and he was going to try to get it more downfield. He has been NFLized again. Reeling it back in. The ball in the arms of Cartwright, who's been busy in this second half. A nice gain of 5. Short passes. That's the story here in Dallas. Let's check in for a game break with JB.
Well, long passes on this drive here for Philadelphia. 2 of 2 by McNabb for 64 yards. But it was Deuce Staley with the 4-yard run to put the Eagles up by 2013. Hey, Joe, Howie Long wanted me to tell Chris Collinsworth, not caution tape. Tell them they need the Skins crime tape.
Second down and 5 as you look at the NFC East with the Cowboys up on top at 5 and 2. It's second down. Short throw. That's Johnson, the fullback. And you can tell a difference in the game plan and the game calling, the play calling, from the first half, which was atrocious by the Redskins, to what they're doing now.
Well, I think when you look at it and you go back to even what they did at the beginning of the year, I was impressed with the way that they were committed to being able to run the football in order to preserve the win in a lot of those games. And if you go back over the last 4 games where they've not been as effective offensively, they've played some awfully good defensive teams. It's not about proving a system works. It's about finding a way to win football games.
Here's Ramsey changing it up with the play clock down to 4, 3, 2.
Oh, boy.
And they don't get the play away.
Oh, boy. You know,
Before the ball was snapped, we had delay a game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Chris, remember, whatever you say right now, Howie's listening back in Los Angeles.
You know, this is just not a game of audibles. It really isn't. In the National Football League, and you're in a stadium on the road, you have to call plays that are basically secure, that you can get the ball out quickly. There are hot reads. You can't come in here and make late audibles, and this team has been trying to do this all year, and it looks ridiculous.
Yeah, we saw them try to do the same thing. Here they are again. Do this in Philadelphia, where they had more trouble, and now with a play clock at 1, they just get this one away. And the pass incomplete, broken up by Edwards, with Coles the intended receiver.
I just think they put too much on this young man's shoulders in order to come up and make calls at the line of scrimmage. I know for a fact it is very difficult to play quarterback in the National Football League at a high level. And as much as you can take off the quarterback's shoulders, particularly a young quarterback, the better chance he has to be successful. When he's audibling on the road trying to make calls, as we've seen the clock run down, it gives him less time to see what it is that the defense is doing. I think they're setting Patrick Ramsey up for failure by the way that they're utilizing this kid.
Dump off to McCullough, and what a play. Tackle made at the 45, Singleton.
Troy, the other thing is, and you know this as well as I do, that in the NFL, maybe in college, you can look pre-snap read and know what the defense is going to be. Pre-snap read in the NFL means almost nothing. So now you've got a second-year quarterback who's up there thinking he's reading the defense, thinking he knows what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do, making an audible that is only going to be right probably at best 50% of the time.
3rd and 13. Blitz. Off his back foot, there's nobody there.
He's got no chance, Joe. He's got no chance. He can barely get up. He's getting hit every time he drops back. I tell you what, if I'm Daniel Snyder or if I'm Steve Spurrier and you've got the investment in this young man that they have, I'd put 9 guys in there to block if I had to.
Well, it's Williams who ends up hitting his safety partner, Woodson, in the back. And it's Woodson who is down and getting attention from the training staff.
Well, now they know how they feel when they hit Ramsey out there. You know, they're starting to kill each other off. But again, you've got Cartwright going to the left. The safety's coming off the corner on the right. You've got people out of position. More so now than ever, you've got to try and do some things to try and get them protected. I mean, here, these guys are just going to come right off the corner over here. Cartwright's going to go this way. There's nobody can possibly pick up a guy out going that way. Samuels doesn't get his guy. Samuels supposed to slide out and get the guy to his left. Cartwright gets the guy to his side. It's just a 3-ring circus right now.
And I think in order to, you know, it's easy to sit up here and you talk about why aren't they picking this and why aren't they picking that up and why aren't they protecting Patrick Ramsey. As we see, Darren Woodson looks like he's going to be okay. But to me, it just looks like a group that does not spend a lot of time during the course of the week preparing for what they're going to see on Sunday. It just does not seem to be a cohesive group, passing things off, seeing blitzes, and they're not picking up blitzes that are really pretty elementary in this league.
Well, they brought in Joe Bugel, who is kind of a hero around the Redskins organization for the job he did coaching the offensive line for Joe Gibbs. And all he really gave as a report were fundamental techniques, which might be an indictment anyway. As Galloway makes the fair catch, and they'll mark it just inside the 10. So they're talking fundamentals across the offensive line, and it's Ramsey that leaves every game with a limp.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
Couple of fans of these two teams, Redskins and Cowboys, under 3:40 to play in the third quarter. It's still only an 8-point game. Big reason why the 4 turnovers by the Dallas Cowboys, who start with it inside their own 10. This is Adrian Morrell. No gain on the play. Bailey on the tackle. A tale of 2 coaches coming into this one. Everybody talking about the job that Bill Parcells has done with the Dallas Cowboys, has him at 5-2 atop the NFC East. And everybody is on the case of Steve Spurrier. The offense today, the passing game in particular, has been a disappointment for the Redskins. It's 2nd down and 10. Quincy Carter fires, and Glenn incomplete. Out of bounds with 3:01 left in the third quarter.
I'll tell you what has been impressive today, though, has been the play of the Dallas Cowboys on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they really now, with Terrence Newman back there, cornerback, they can play the man coverage that they couldn't play a season ago. Mario Edwards doing a good job on the other side, but we're seeing the Cowboys being much more aggressive under Bill Parcells, and I think a big reason why is that guy right there. Well, that's another one, Roy Williams, but Terrence Newman as well. That man-to-man capability is something they couldn't do last year.
3rd down and 10. Carter's going to run. Field wide open in front of him, slides with a 1st down.
And the reason there was so much room for Quincy Carter to run, again, they caught the Redskins in man-to-man coverage. And anytime you get that, there's nobody accounted for the quarterback. You watch, they're in 2-man, and all these people are going to run with the wide receivers. And Quincy Carter, all he has to do is get past that defensive line. And once that happens, there's a lot of room there for him to run.
You used to love that, didn't you?
What, running?
All that room to run.
You ever haven't run that far?
I used to hate when they gave me running lanes.
1st down and 10 for the Cowboys. His handoff to Morrell. And he loses his helmet. Brought down inches shy of the 25, a gain of 3.
You know, Chris, you talked about the Cowboys defense, and really, I mean, I know that the Cowboys have got some yards against this group, but the Redskins defense has done a pretty good job too. I mean, they've been responsible for creating some of those turnovers, and they've been able to keep the Cowboys out of the end zone for the most part, kept the score down. As bad as their offense has been playing, this defense has allowed them to at least stay in the game.
You know, they've been very cautious on defense. We're not seeing the man coverage out of the Redskins we typically see. They're waiting for the Cowboys to make a mistake on the offensive side, too.
2nd down and 7. Play action out of the backfield. Morrell makes a move and has a 1st down. Got around Terrell and picked up a fresh set of downs. Tonight on Fox, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, King of the Hill. The Simpsons, their Halloween special. Malcolm in the Middle and Arrested Development.
Is that the one Brad Pitt's supposed to be on?
The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he is. And Arrested Development is one that's been hailed by critics as they open up their season. Right now, it's the Cowboys trying to move to 6-2. Under a minute to play in the third quarter, and Morrell has been the featured back on this drive, picked up 1.
Yeah, we saw Morrell earlier this year in the preseason against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had a great game. He really did. But I'm just amazed that a guy that's been out of football and been away from the game can come back in just a week's time and have this kind of contribution to the game.
I'm told that Brad Pitt is on King of the Hill.
There we go. All right. We'll watch them all.
You snuggle in your bed back at the hotel here in Dallas. You can listen for the voice of Brad Pitt.
I'll do it.
2nd down and 9. Blitz coming. Bryant with a catch. Won't go down. And falls forward very near another Dallas 1st down. What an effort by Bryant.
And it looks like Fred Smoot is on the ground. He was the one in coverage, and when he came up to make the collision, it looked like he made contact right there in the sternum area where he's been injured and came in with the fractured sternum and his missed ball games, but right there with the shoulder and sternum area.
Fourth quarter coming up after this from your local Fox station.
watching the NFL on Fox.
Ready to begin the fourth quarter. Dallas with the football. 3rd down and a yard to go. Leading by 8. Smoot is on the sideline. And we're looking for his replacement. Short yardage defense in for the Washington Redskins. And the Cowboys are going to throw. They put it up. It's Campbell. It's a first down. Still working the sideline, and he is forced out at the 36.
And not a lot of times will you see a quarterback run the naked and come out to his left. And the reason for that is if you get pressure fast, it's hard to get your shoulders turned and get the ball out quickly. Quincy Carter comes out, does a great job of retreating and giving himself a little more time to get the ball out to Dan Campbell. Just a great athletic play by Quincy Carter, and then a pretty good move by Dan Campbell to stay in bounds along the sideline.
I tell you what else that is. That's a guy that studies the game. You know, all that extra time that Quincy Carter has been putting in now starting to pay off. He knew where the guy was that could get to him quickly, backed up and made the play.
Blitz coming, and it's Morrell on the handoff with LeVar Arrington coming on the blitz. He got there a little too late.
I was interested talking to LeVar Arrington last night, and the changes that have been made at the head coaching position since he's been with the Redskins. He's had 4 different head coaches during his 4 years, and it's something very different for him. Jack McCurry was his high school coach at North Hills in Pittsburgh. He's been there 25 years. He goes to Penn State. Of course, Joe Paterno, you know, a pillar of the coaching ranks and stability at that school, and he just hasn't had that at that head coaching position here with Washington, and it's been frustrating for him.
And as we mentioned at the defensive coordinator position, this is Glenn, and that's Bailey, who almost got in front. Champ Bailey almost came away with a miraculous interception, and then Bowen on the deflection almost got it.
You know, Champ Bailey has been playing hurt all year as well with the bad wrist, the bad shoulder. But watch the remarkable play. I mean, there just is no way for him to get over the top of the shoulder, not interfere, and make that play. I mean, that guy, to me, is one of the greatest athletes playing in the NFL right now.
Well, not only is he banged up and he comes out and plays each week, but he doesn't even miss any time practicing. He's out there each day during the week with his teammates on the practice field, and just a real warrior. And not only is he a great cover guy, but he also gets involved in the running game, and he'll come up and hit a running back that gets in his area.
You know, at Georgia, the guy almost never came off the field. He had 547 plays on defense at Georgia, 301 on offense, 109 on special teams. So the idea of playing with pain and staying out on the field is nothing foreign to him.
Terrell comes in to take his place in the lineup. Smoot is back in on 3rd down and 8. Bailey rejected a 9-year, $55 million contract offer in August. Third down opportunity here for the Washington defense. The pass is caught. And it's a first down for the Cowboys as Antonio Bryant comes down with it.
Every time on 3rd down and medium, about 5 or 6, look how deep they are right here. I don't know if that has to do with the fact that Fred has the bad chest and he doesn't want to get into a jam, bump, and run. But this is the same way they've been picking up these first downs all day. When you get 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, that's a slant. I mean, in the NFL these days, they're going to run a slant, especially if you're playing off that far.
Yeah, especially with the Dallas Cowboys. That's a real staple for this passing game for them.
First down at the 25. 21 first downs today, and Morrell is swallowed up in the backfield. Back at the 30. Loss of 5. Smoot again, slow to get up.
Yeah, and we talked about Champ Bailey and how he'll come up and make a tackle in the run game. And, you know, Fred Smoot, who is as banged up as anybody on the field right now, and still he's able to get in there and stick his chest in there and make a play. I think it says a lot for the fact that he's still out on the field, even contributing.
You know, Troy, remember what Bill Parcells said to us yesterday, what they wanted to run at him. I mean, they know that he's hurting, and this game is not fair always, because when you know you have an injury, they're going to take advantage, and the way you take advantage of Fred Smoot is to run at him today.
Kayshon in the backfield on 2nd down and 15. And they hand it to him. Avion Kayshon with a head of steam, gets it down inside the 20. 4 yards shy of a first down.
You know, and that's just a great call right there by Bill Parcells. 2nd and long. You're going to get down in here, not try to do anything foolish. Of course, now you get into a manageable 3rd down situation. But Bill Parcells understands that with an 8-point lead, a field goal right here at this point in the game is very, very important.
4 yards shy of a first down. The ball is at the 19. Drive is swallowed up over 7 minutes off the clock. Quincy Carter in trouble, unleashes it to Glenn. A catch, looking for the end zone, touchdown. How about Quincy Carter hanging in there with guys in his face making that throw?
Just fantastic play by Quincy Carter. There's going to be pressure right in his face. He's just going to jump past this thing out to Terry Glenn. Glenn with a little magic and making up for some of his earlier mistakes. But I tell you, it is so much fun for me, Troy, to watch Quincy Carter play. I mean, the amount of improvement this kid has made over the past couple of years is just simply remarkable.
21-6 is the Dallas lead. Quincy Carter throws his 8th touchdown pass of the season. He and Glenn had to work for it with a good block from Antonio Bryant. The Cowboys try to open it up over their arch rival, the Redskins. 21-6.
Day is brought to you by Saturn, makers of the highly adaptable View, stylish midsize L300, and the fun-to-drive Ion. By Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. By Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cowboys ready to kick it back to the Washington Redskins. Terry Glenn with his team-leading 5th touchdown catch. It's 21-6 Dallas. We talked about Quincy Carter rededicating himself. Bill Parcells riding him in training camp, riding him hard, putting it all on his shoulders. The extra time in the film room looking at game film. This is Johnson on the return. Loses the football and amazingly gets it right back. And you wonder if Quincy Carter would have made this play a year ago.
Can you read his lips? He just said big-time play, big-time play.
And it was. Cowboys up by 15.
I received this wedding gift from my husband.
21-6, and it's all on the Washington offense, which so far has amassed 103 total yards.
There they go, audible.
To Cartwright. Out across the 35, a gain of 5. We go back to the touchdown throw to Glenn.
Yeah, you take a look at it. They're going to bring the corner blitz off the edge, and so as you see Quincy Carter throw it, the throw is a little behind, and it forces Terry Glenn to stop, and because of that, it turns him back inside, and Matt Bowen's unable to make the play. Antonio Bryant also on the outside doing a great job on Champ Bailey, which gives him just enough space to get into the end zone.
Quick throw. Coles. Corralled immediately at the 35-yard line.
You know, one of the stories for the Washington Redskins, I think, is the fact that Laveranues Coles has become really a non-factor. His first 3 games of the year, all over 100 yards. He hasn't had as many as 62 yards since. And the great majority of the catches that he's making now are on that flanker screen. He's not catching anything down the field, Troy.
Well, and that goes back to the protection problems. They haven't been able to hold it to allow him to get down the field. His receptions haven't changed much over the course of those games. They've just not been able to get the ball to him down the field.
3rd down and 7. Johnson. What a run by Johnson. He's into Dallas territory. Patrick Johnson, who had a blocker in front of him, I believe it was Coles. Finally brought down by Woodson after a gain of 19, and there was a case with Ramsey changing it up at the line of scrimmage, and it worked.
Yeah, it was a case of getting the ball into one of your fastest guys' hands. I mean, you see here Patrick Johnson, there's not a lot there at the moment, but he's able to make a play, and it was really all on his own. I mean, he made 3 people miss in order to pick up that first down. Great individual effort by Johnson.
Now on first down, Ramsey has time down the sideline. Coles can't get to it. No penalty flag on the play, covered by Newman, the rookie.
Terrence Newman was beat on that play. Coles had a step, and Newman grabbed his feet right at the last second. It was bang, bang as to whether or not that was pass interference.
I think one of the surprising things about Terrence Newman is that he's a rookie, and not many teams have really challenged him much. The Giants did in week 2. They had some success in the second half with Amani Toomer, but beyond the Giants, he has not gotten a lot of balls thrown at him when he's been locked up man-to-man.
They could have easily drawn a flag with that hand on the left hip of Coles. They didn't get it. And now a penalty flag comes in as McCullough runs to the right side. No gain. We'll check the marker. It's a hold against the Washington Redskins.
Holding on the offense, number 48. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Kevin Ware.
Kevin Ware right here at tight end. Of course, he was just signed and activated and just brought in to be a part of this, and he's learning on the run as well. I tell you, Steve Spurrier, who's been just exacerbated with the penalties and what's happened over the course of each and every game they've played in, another game just like it today with the number of penalties in this game.
Byron Chamberlain, the free agent tight end they brought in, is inactive for today's game. That got Kevin Ware on the field. Now on second down over the middle, it's Cartwright. And Ron to the 49 of the Dallas Cowboys. 3rd and long coming up after a gain of 8. Win on the tackle.
You know, Dat Wynn played so well against the Bucs. Another good day today. It's amazing that this guy is even in America. You know the story on him? Parents from South Vietnam. They got attacked from North Vietnam. His parents, his family tried to escape on a boat. They were fired upon. Had to spend like 6 weeks at sea. Somehow ended up making it to America. Now he's playing in the National Football League.
5'11", 243-pound middle linebacker. 3rd down and 12. That pass is tipped, and it was Woodson who got his hand up and knocked it down. So the Cowboys brought everybody, and now with it being 4th down, 4th and 12, and 7:56 remaining. First, Steve Spurrier said to go for it. Now we'll see if they stay with that.
No, you can't. I mean, this is still a 2-touchdown game. It's 4th down and 12. You punt the football away, let your defense make a stand.
Now they're going to burn a timeout because of the indecision.
First he said go for it. Then it looked like he changed his mind, and now the Redskins have to use their first timeout.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
Well, after the timeout, Steve Spurrier has sent the offense back onto the field. 3 out of 4 on 4th down, but this is 4th and 12, and it's a 15-point game. The Redskins defense has played reasonably well, and instead of trying to pin the Cowboys back near their own end zone and play field position, they go for it all here.
Yeah, and the Cowboys look like they're going to show man-to-man. Looks like they may be coming after him here.
I would.
Oh, they're all coming. Ramsey off his back foot. Not even close. Laveranues Coles was the closest to it. And with everybody coming on a blitz, turning it over on downs are the Washington Redskins.
Well, that's just a give-up play right there. I mean, Patrick Ramsey just has to throw it up in the air. He thinks Laveranues is going to stay straight. On the go route, Laveranues breaks it to the post. Just Well, I don't understand the logic behind that one.
Well, I know what Spurrier's upset about. When you get blitz coverage and there's no safety in the middle of the field, you hang it up down the middle of the field, and Patrick basically threw it like it was a go route back to the outside. But it doesn't excuse the decision. The decision's wrong.
From midfield, it's first down, and it's Hambrick. Cowboys will try to eat some clock on this drive. Under 7:45 to go. Let's check in with JB on another game break.
Well, Joe, this is what it looks like when it's executed well. Matt Hasselbeck with the first touchdown of the game in this contest here, hooking up with Darrell Jackson. Seattle goes on to win at 23-16 and improve to 6-2. And Joe Buck, let me tell you, Chris knows this is painful to watch what you guys are doing. Back to Joe Buck.
All right, JB, so 6-2 for the Seahawks. St. Louis getting pounded at San Francisco, and Seattle beat St. Louis earlier in the year. Carter fires. This is the fullback, Martin. Jamar makes the catch. He's knocked down and dragged down at the 44.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Quincy and what he's done, we talked about the game that he's having, and he's got 1 touchdown on the day and 2 interceptions. And at the end of the game, I think you're going to go back, which is the case most of the time, when you look at Quincy Carter's statistics and you say, well, he really didn't have that big of an impact in the game. But as we saw today, the guy makes plays, and he gives his receivers opportunities to make plays and score points. And those are things that don't show up in the box score at the end of a ball game. But he's done a lot to help this team get off to the start that they have.
Third down and 3. Blitz coming from the Redskins. The pass is caught. Sliding catch, but shy of a first down is Glenn. Bowen on the stop, and we've seen that look on the face of Steve Spurrier as he and Patrick Ramsey had the discussion after the 4th and 12. Go for it, and the throw, and it was really Ramsey who had a similar look coming off the field when the Redskins had to burn a timeout, not ready for 4th down.
Well, 4th and 12, you're not going to convert too many times, and whether they're in blitz coverage, man-to-man on the outside, one-on-one, and you're throwing it up, I mean, the chances of completing that pass aren't real good.
But really, if you're going to have a chance to convert 4th and 12 or 14 or whatever it was in that situation, it's not a bad opportunity against blitz coverage with the post. It just, nothing is synced up for this thing.
I would agree. I just don't think Steve Spurrier should be over there acting like it's Ramsey's fault that they didn't convert it.
Timeout called for by the Cowboys.
I'll buy that.
Marry me tuna. The tuna is a fox. So Bill Parcells with a big fan here in Dallas.
Let's put that on his highlight reel.
It's 4th down, and the Cowboys are going to go for it.
Maybe.
Trying to draw the Redskins offside.
Well, they had him there for a minute if they would have snapped the ball.
Now the play clock is expired.
I was going to say, that was really...
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That was un-Parcell-like. He is a man of field position, and especially with the way that his defense is kicking the dog out of the Redskins offense, why you wouldn't punt them and let those guys play for the last 5:36, I don't know. That was much more like Parcells to now line up your punter.
Well, he's talking to Matt Lair there. They jumped off sides, and he expected the ball to be snapped. As soon as they jump off sides, boom, you hike the ball. I mean, that's what he didn't do.
Patrick Johnson on the return. Brought down immediately by Hunter. Sounded like Madden there for a second. Boom, snapped the ball.
That's a compliment, isn't it?
It is, okay. Absolutely.
All right.
Here is our day in Dallas.
Keep using that phone. You're going to get a lot of chances here.
Dear diary. Here's what we saw at Texas Stadium. Boom. Boom.
You got to put a little something in it. Boom.
He's been doing baseball. They do silent booms in baseball. They're going to be a loud boom in Washington tomorrow, though. This has been not good.
Coming off a bye week.
Not good.
I don't know how much of a restful week that bye week was for this team.
43 yards passing. The last time the Redskins had under 50 yards passing was 1980. into those numbers. Underneath, the pass is caught. This is McCullough. Sutton, as an official goes down, and Ramsey grabs his hand. Glover got pressure on Patrick Ramsey. Now he gets up holding the ring finger on his left hand.
And he's shaking his head. He's done. He's done. I mean, you can tell he knows that there's something seriously wrong with that left hand.
I tell you what, if I had a towel that I could throw in the ring at this point for this kid, I'd throw it from here.
He's doing everything he can, and he's not getting much protection at all. And it's the left hand. It looked like the ring finger.
You know, and the other thing that I'm not seeing, Joe, is I'm not seeing any of these offensive linemen going back and even helping him off the ground. I mean, I know that when I would get knocked down and sacked, those guys feel bad about that. They come up and they help you, and there's nobody even going back there to see if the guy's all right.
But it only happened once every 3 weeks to you, so they could do that. With these guys, they'd be exhausted picking him up every play.
Well, they'd have been getting a little workout getting back there to him, wouldn't they? I mean, I'll be honest, that is surprising to me that there's not been guys back there even checking on him to see if he's okay. Normally, an offensive line, they take great pride in protecting their quarterback. They haven't done a very good job today.
Now Tim Hasselbeck will come off the bench. He's been with 3 NFL teams but has never thrown a regular season pass. And now what looked like an inevitability, the way this game started, and Patrick Ramsey again getting knocked around, is going to happen with a guy making his NFL regular season debut and a guy who has been with his Washington team a total of 11 days.
Well, I'll tell you what, to go back to Patrick Ramsey, if I was him, I'd be upset right now. I'd be upset with the way the whole thing has been handled and the beating that he's been allowed to take.
It's 2nd down and 3, empty backfield. Welcome to the game, Tim Hasselbeck. Starts with a throw, and he hits Johnson. Pass complete for a 1st down, and Johnson tried to get a few extra, a gain of 6.
Yeah, normally you'd go into a no-huddle offense right here when you're down 15 points in the 4th quarter with less than 5 minutes to play, but you know you can't. This kid can't know the no-huddle offense.
Why not? Just drop back and sling it. Why not?
He can't even call a play.
Well, that's all right. They haven't been working that well anyway.
Hasselbeck fires, and the pass is caught by Gardner.
I'm telling you, this is pretty good. We're back in the schoolyard now. Just drop back and wing it to somebody. What the heck?
So Hasselbeck, who we last saw for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Now they're helping Hasselbeck. They're getting him all straightened up with his shoulder pads and his jersey.
Fresh meat.
They know they don't have anybody if he goes down.
Look at San Francisco with a 30-10 victory over St. Louis.
Troy, they're worried. They're going to have to go play quarterback. That's why they're helping them up.
This one is thrown out of the reach of Coles and nearly into the arms of Terrence Newman.
You know, it's not that Tim Hasselbeck can't play. Certainly he can. His brother Matt is the quarterback in Seattle, and his dad Don was the player in the National Football League.
Hard to believe, but Patrick Ramsey's back in the game.
2nd down and 10.
This guy just keeps coming back for more, doesn't he?
Back in there, lining up in the shotgun. Again, he gets hit, wrestled down. Pass is incomplete for Taylor Jacobs.
Tell you what, that one was there. They had a chance for a big play. Taylor Jacobs, a young man out of the University of Florida, really hasn't done a whole lot in his first year, and clearly that's a tough catch. There's no question about it. I thought Ramsey, if he had let him down the field, had a chance for a touchdown. But again, a play you can make. I mean, that's not an impossible catch.
It's now 3rd down and 10. .326 left. 15-point Dallas lead. McCullough. They're going to mark him down right at midfield. And another 4th down play coming up, 4th and 7.
McCullough, a young man that out of Southern California, led USC in rushing 3 straight years. But don't forget, now they're on their 4th tailback as well. And so it's not like it's all easy out there for the Washington Redskins. Pretty banged up.
Ramsey fires, has Johnson. Perfect throw and catch. Finally had time to make a throw, and boy did he. Put it right in the arms of Patrick Johnson down to the 19.
Really was a nice job of Patrick Ramsey hanging in the pocket, getting some time, and that's the weakness in this cover 2 zone, right there on the sideline, in behind the corner, in behind Mario Edwards, and Patrick Johnson gets in there, and Patrick Ramsey leads him perfectly.
Tell you what, Patrick Johnson is a guy that can fly. He once beat Carl Lewis in a sprint. So this is a guy that does present that deep threat to push him down the field, and he's made some nice plays out here today.
2:37 left, first down for Washington.
Say Redskins can make things real interesting here if they're able to get a score on this drive.
Snap was low. Ramsey is drilled, throws, and it is caught for a touchdown. Jacobs. Taylor Jacobs gets his first in the NFL. And I mean, Ramsey got plowed at the end of that play.
Just great courage by Patrick Ramsey hanging in the pocket. Roy Williams is going to come on the blitz. Again, they've shown this over and over, and he takes it right in the ribs and just throws a perfect pass.
But, Troy, this is what you have to do if you're the Washington Redskins. You have to make people pay for blitzing you all the time. And this is one of the first times in weeks that we've seen them burn the blitz with a big play down the field. When you blitz, you have to play man coverage, and you have to win those battles down the field.
And I'll tell you what, that was a great adjustment on the ball by Taylor Jacobs. He thought it was going to be to his inside. Patrick let him over his outside shoulder, and he adjusted and made the play.
Trying to make it a 7-point game, going for 2. The pass is caught by McCants. It's a 7-point game.
I tell you what, Joe, I didn't like the call going for 2 in that situation. If they fail to make the 2-point conversion there, then it's still a 2-possession game. They're able, however, to make the conversion and now cut it to 7, but a real risky call by Steve Spurrier.
I couldn't believe he got this throw in there.
What a tremendous showing today by Patrick Ramsey, a guy who has been hit since he got off the team bus this morning. He has been taking whacks. He injured his left forearm. He injured his left wrist. He's been bothered by a bruise to the back of his throwing hand. Been bothered by a hip problem. He had to leave the last game for the Washington Redskins when they were playing at Buffalo. And after having to leave after another big hit in this one, he came back to lead the Redskins down the field, and with 2.5 minutes to go and 2 timeouts remaining, it's a 7-point game.
And now comes the question, do you go for the onside kick? You have 2 timeouts remaining. You have the 2-minute warning, so still plenty of time if you can hold them to a 3-and-out, but you have to hold them to 3-and-out. And my guess is, I think in this situation I would kick it deep. I would take my chances.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. With 2 timeouts and still with the 2-minute warning that will stop the clock, whether you onside kick it or not, if you don't get the ball, you got to stop them. Therefore, I would kick it off and just depend on your defense. And the defense really, for the most part today, has done a pretty good job.
So Philadelphia won. They're now 5-3, winning at Atlanta. The Giants won. They're back to even at 4-4. That's where the Redskins are trying to go. Dallas trying to stay on top of the NFC East. They're 5-2 at the start of the day, leading by 7. And the Cowboys are expecting the onside kick. They do have Case on deep, but he is only standing at the 27.
They could kick it over his head and let it bounce around and really pin him back.
And the kick is deep.
Not out of the end zone. Oh, I hate that.
So through the back of the end zone, and with 2.5 minutes left, the Cowboys will start with it from their own 20. Following football tonight on Fox, King of the Hill, The Simpsons, little double dose, Malcolm in the Middle, and Arrested Development.
What did you hate about that, Chris?
I just think at that point you could kick it high and deep, make that guy run 25 yards back to the goal line.
Okay.
Maybe it's going to bounce around. You might pin him back inside the 10.
You're a little riled right now.
Well, you know, I get into football. I should apologize then.
There's no need for an apology.
I like it. I mean, they had a great chance. The defender was up. I mean, the returner was up to the 30-yard line. Drop it in behind them. You never know what could happen.
You never know. From their own 20. On the ground, no surprise, it's Hambrick. He's fumbled twice in this game, and the Redskins will use a timeout. Remember where they had to use their first timeout? On a 4th and 12. They had their offense on the field. Then it looked like they changed their mind on the sideline. Then they called timeout, and then they still went back with the offense on the field, and they failed to convert on 4th and 12. So that was a total waste of a timeout.
That's a great point, Joe. Absolutely it was. And when you get into games like this, 7-point games with under 3 minutes to play, and when you're trying to stop the clock and stop the opponent, timeouts are extremely valuable. And then you look back to those situations where you did waste one like they did.
You know, there are just so many times with this Washington Redskins offense that they flash what you think Steve Spurrier's offense is supposed to be about. They did that on one drive against the Buffalo Bills in their last game, where they just boom, 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 everything's working. They go right down the field and they score a touchdown to Gardner. In this game, on that drive, it's like boom, boom, yeah, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like out there. And yet the consistency just has not been there for the past month.
We saw the same in Philadelphia with the Redskins coming within a 2-point conversion of tying the Eagles. Morrell now in the backfield, and they reverse it. This is Glenn looking for a big first down. Now down the sideline with loftier ambitions. Glenn covers up as he was about to get drilled by Arrington. Good play by Glenn, and with a ball at the 29, that may seal it.
That will seal it, Joe, and you're right. It was a great job by Terry Glenn, understanding the situation, knowing he didn't have to score, and protecting the football and going down when he knew he was going to get hit.
Quincy Carter with a big block on the play, and the Dallas Cowboys may wrap it up with that play by Terry Glenn. A 21-14 Dallas lead with 2 minutes left.
How brilliant was that play call, though, by Bill Parcells and company over there? I mean, you're talking about the last thing in the world you would have expected in that moment.
It was pretty brilliant since it worked.
Yeah.
You know?
Hambrick gets it and gets it down to the 21. Let's go back to that 47-yard run by Terry Glenn. Steve Spurrier on the right talking to Sutan McCullough, talking about the upcoming offensive series. And then he's alerted to the fact that Terry Glenn is in the open field and trying to seal it for the Dallas Cowboys. And then, Chris.
Yeah, there comes a certain point in the game where it's time to put the old cap back on your marker.
47 yards from Terry Glenn.
Nothing left to draw up at this point.
So with a timeout called by the Redskins, they are out of timeouts. We look at early game headliners. Peyton Manning and the day he had against the Miami Dolphins, they get another victory. Brandon Short, 14 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a sack, as the Giants ended up on top of the Jets in overtime. And Ray Lewis, 14 tackles, a forced fumble, and is anybody paying attention to the Baltimore Ravens?
What a great game by Peyton Manning, going there to Miami, and a place where he had struggled in previous years, and coming away with a big win for that team.
Baltimore now 5-3, leading the AFC North. This is Jamar Martin. The fullback is ahead for a first down. Hambrick today, 21 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 fumbles, but Bill Parcells stayed with him. And Hambrick rewards Parcells with a 100-yard day. It wasn't pretty today, but these fans in that Dallas sideline starts to celebrate their 6th win of the season.
Well, I know Bill Parcells is happy about this win. It was one that he felt that they really needed to get. But they got a tough road coming up. They've still got Carolina here in Dallas. They've got Miami. They've got a lot of games left to prove what kind of team they're going to have.
But let's stop and think back to where this team was before Parcells got here. The idea that they'd be sitting at 6-2 at the halfway point, there's no way. There wouldn't even have been any odds on that in Vegas. it was such a long shot. And Bill Parcells has just done one of the truly remarkable jobs of coaching that we've seen in this league in many, many years.
The upcoming schedule for the Cowboys, and you see the home portion of it. Buffalo, Carolina, Miami. 3 of the next 4 are here in Dallas, then a trip to Philadelphia. And with half a minute to go, we'll tell you that today's game is being produced by Richie Zients, directed by Artie Kempner. Steve Horn assisting us here in the booth. Our editorial consultant, technical producer Matt Benedict, the technical director Rich Basili, and the audio mixer is Fred Aldis. There's the final snap of the day. Associate directors Greg Scopatoni and Derek Manning. Broadcast associates Judy Wong and Jeremy Green. Special thanks today John Pidgeon, Don Cornelli, and Michael Tatamir. Video to Gene Michael and Fred Medeiros. Truck engineers Andy Birbaum, Doug Buchanan, and Scott Rothenberg, and David Waite. As Steve Spurrier makes his way across the field, this was the first meeting ever between Steve Spurrier and Bill Parcells. Will there be another? 21-14. Dallas ends up on top. They lead the NFC East now with a record of 6-2. We'll come back and wrap up our day at Texas Stadium after this. Welcome back to Dallas. My personal thanks to Dave Schwabe and Ed Svita assisting us here in the booth, spotting and with statistics. Our UPS leaderboard brought to you by UPS. See what Brown can do for you. Quincy Carter had a solid, if not spectacular day. 196 yards through the air, a touchdown, 2 picks. Hambrick 100 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns but 2 fumbles. And Terry Glenn with another touchdown, his 5th of the season. Now Wachovia presents today's uncommon perspective here at Texas Stadium. And a look from just above with the reverse that sealed the game. The 47-yard run by Terry Glenn. And this uncommon perspective brought to you by Wachovia. Together we can achieve uncommon results. So the Dallas Cowboys will stay atop the NFC East. They beat the Washington Redskins. 6-2, that's the Cowboys record as they head out of this stadium after a win by 7 over Washington. SBC postgame show coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, it's all yours.
It's the SBC postgame.
You know, he plays the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.